Okay.
Is there any other way we can add that? Because I tried adding with the online and offline as well. Both case was somehow my old ID is getting relaunched. Once I put back the internet, automatically it gets restarted, and my old ID is getting launched.
Okay, no problem. So we'll start. Welcome to today's session, day 7 with Selenium with C Sharp by 5 Elements Learning. Today we are going to talk about the concept of Selenium with C Sharp. We will have a look at the WebDriver, WebElement, and why. We'll have a look at the methods of WebDriver and WebElement and talk about the concept of parameterization and synchronization. The earlier version of WebDriver was known as Selenium 2.0, and now the latest version is available to us, which is known as Selenium 3.0. The major changes has been on the browser level, that now every browser is supposed to support their own WebDriver version and they have to ship with their driver versions. So in earlier Selenium 2.0, the web drivers were maintained by the Selenium people, but now every browser organization is supposed to maintain their own WebDriver version. And according to W3C Consortium, it has laid down some guidelines on which the browser should be based so that they could be automated on a open source WebDriver. Now Firefox has went ahead and implemented this W3C WebDriver protocol, but Selenium is yet to catch up with it, and so as other browsers as well. Because of which the Firefox driver is no longer supported by Selenium. What we have to use is something called as a Gecko driver. Gecko driver is basically created on a Gecko web browser engine on which a lot of Mozilla applications are based. So Marinade is basically the automation driver for Mozilla Gecko engine, and it takes requests and executes them in the Gecko, and the client basically sends command to the server, and server executes the command within the browser. So what we use is something called as a Gecko driver with Selenium 3. Whichever is the latest release. The latest release now is 3.7, and the Gecko driver version latest release is 0.19. So we use this Gecko driver version with Selenium 3.7 to work with the Firefox driver. For the start, we are going to start with working with the Chrome driver, and then we will see how we can work with the iDriver or Firefox driver. Now the scenario which we are going to pick up is the login logout scenario. Now we have already written down the steps for the login logout, and since you cannot export the script, we will have to write down the script by ourselves. But before we do that, let's have a look at the iWebDriver. Now what is this iWebDriver? Is it a class or an interface? What is it? Is it a class or an interface? It's an interface. So if it is an interface, it is going to be implemented by other drivers which are classes so that we can work on it. Now these are some of the methods available with this particular interface. The methods are, some of the properties are URL, it gets or sets the URL, title gets the title of the current browser, page source gets the current page source. Then some of the methods are navigate, quit, switch to, close, find element, and find elements. Now the find element method basically returns something called as a iWeb element. Now let's have a look what a iWeb element is. What is a iWeb element? Is it an interface or a class? It's an interface again. Now some of the properties of this interface are display, tag name, text, etc. And some of the methods are click, get attribute, send keys, submit, clear, etc. Now we need to understand two things. The WebDriver is referring to the browser and the web element is referring to the HTML element on the page. Now to identify this HTML element on the page, what is that we have to do? We have to do the provide the by locator. Once we provide the by locator, we should be able to have a look at the, based upon whether we are trying to identify by ID, name, XPath, etc., we will be able to return the element found by that particular locator property. So what is by? Is by a class or a interface? It's a class, and these are some of the methods available: by dot class name, by dot CSS selector, by dot ID, link text name, tag name, XPath, etc., which are basically the locators created. So by basically is a locator. So we generally say driver dot find element by dot locator. We provide a locator value. This will return to us a web element. So on this web element, we perform the web element function and be done with it. Okay. So driver dot find element by dot locator value basically returns to us a web element, and then on this we perform a web element function and close it. So for example, if I want to click on the my account link, can you let me know how I would write this command? If I want to click on the my account link, how will I create it? So I will say driver dot find element by dot link text my account dot click. Is this clear? Now if I want to type text on the email address, I would be saying this: driver dot find element by dot name email underscore address dot send keys. Okay, so this is how I will be typing in the command. So let's have a look at the login logout scenario. Here, after you have added those packages, the browser which I am going to use is Chrome. I'll be importing two statements using openqa.selenium, using openqa.selenium.chrome. And then within the namespace, I create my class login logout and I start my void main method. I create an object of iWebDriver to become as new Chrome driver. Then I say driver.url is this. Then I say driver.find element by link text my account.click. I set the username password. I click on the sign in button. I click on the log off link and the continue button and I close the browser. So this is login and this is log off. Yes, Sanjit.
Yeah, few questions. Like one is so we in Selenium we use WebDriver and the driver object, right? So here it is iWebDriver instead of WebDriver.
Yeah.
Okay. And second thing is so here we need to have two drivers, right? So one is the Chrome driver, the browser driver, and the Selenium driver. Since it's 3.0, you told like each browser has to provide their web driver, right? So this is from the Chrome, Google, we get the WebDriver. Pallavi?
See, I told you yesterday that for an interface we cannot instantiate an object. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So I cannot say iWebDriver driver is equal to new iWebDriver. So it has to be new
No, no,
of a class.
Chrome drive. Yeah, no, that is fine. No, my question
This
is,
is this syntax
so
is same even for Java.
that's correct. No, my question is, okay, before coming here, so the 3.0 and previous version, you mentioned the difference is each browser will have their own browser driver and the web driver, right?
No.
They have to provide.
The difference between 3.0 and 2.0 is that 3.0 basically is now based on W3C Consortium, where it is stated that every browser should have their own support for WebDriver. Every browser should allow own support of WebDriver so that it can be automated. Now Firefox has already implemented a W3C Consortium, which other browsers in Selenium are yet to catch. So now
Okay,
for Firefox, we have to use Gecko driver, and for rest of the browsers, they have their own iWeb driver and Chrome driver, which are maintained by the browser people only. Selenium no longer maintains these driver objects. Earlier, for Selenium 2.0, Selenium used to maintain these driver objects.
okay. That is okay. So only for the Firefox, so they have the Getcode driver, and for IE and Chrome, they are yet to implement their own support
IE
for their
and
driver.
Chrome, IE and Chrome has their own iWeb driver and Chrome web driver.
Correct, but they still use Selenium WebDriver, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to share
Uh,
this code with you, run it on your system, okay? And once done, let me know, and then I'm going to ask you to write down a code for one of the scenarios on your own.
yeah. So one more question here. So on the top, we are using openqa.selenium and openqa.selenium.chrome, right? So what is the OpenQA here?
Name of the package.
Okay. So all these Chrome and Selenium comes from the OpenQA.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Only thinking like because already we are importing all the web drivers and the browser driver. So so each methods are taken from the base package is OpenQA,
Yeah.
right? That's what it says. Okay.
So I've shared the code. Change the email address and password to your email address and password. And once you are done with
Yeah.
running the program, let me know, and then I'll give you an assignment to be done on your own system.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, good. Any questions in here, Sajid? Anything which was not clear to you?
Yeah, one question I have is for the Selenium in Java,
Mm-hmm.
we have the web driver, we have the Chrome driver, and we have a standalone client driver as well, right? Standalone client also we install, right? We installed the three drivers.
We have the Chrome driver and the
Yep.
Selenium WebDriver. That's it. There is no third thing.
There's no client. There were
No,
standalone
no,
web driver.
no.
Okay.
Okay, now will tell you this in case we have not discussed it. Since we are using Chrome as a browser, in Chrome you have something called as More Tools and go to Developer Tools. Okay, this basically has an interface which allows you to read a page HTML effectively. For example, this my account, you can capture that the text associated with my account link is my account. Okay, so with links we always use link text. Now click here. For this email address, there is a name property called email address. That's how I know. Okay. I think we have discussed this, right?
Yep.
There is name property password, and then this sign in button has got an ID TDB5. So using this, we are able to create our locator values. Now the scenario which I want you to automate using this WebDriver concept and taking help of web developer tools is change profile scenario. What you have to do in here is you already have a login and a logout method available to you. So
Yep.
in between you have to write down the methods for change profile. So first write down the steps for change profile. What are the manual steps? Then create the automation script for it. Okay.
Mhm.
So go ahead and create this scenario, and once you are done, let me know. I'll have a look at it your screen.
Yeah. For the developer tool, from where you took Chrome?
Chrome settings. Here you have more tools.
Mhm.
Developer tools. Okay.
Yep.
So go ahead and do this, please.
Okay.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Pallavi.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I was like, I was actually trying to automate the process. So basically, I have a doubt. If you can share, if you can give the control, or you can see my screen.
go ahead.
Basically,
You have to do change profile.
okay. Then I forgot the process of change profile.
After you logged in,
Yeah.
you are on the My Account page. Come to the page which comes after you have logged in.
Yeah. This is the page.
Do you see the change profile link?
Change my account.
View
Change
the
my.
very first link, view or change my account information.
Yeah. Okay.
Click here.
This one now.
Now change any one field, like you change the last name.
Okay.
Now click on the continue button. Yeah, now
Okay.
go
Done
ahead
now.
and click on log off and continue. This is the scenario I want you to automate.
Okay. Okay. Hello?
Yes, Ajit.
Yeah, so this continue button, I'm not able to click this. When will the class name as continue?
The continue button has an ID property TDB5. Can you see this? Just go above.
Okay, yeah, I got it. But the
So
only thing
you
is,
use ID TDB5.
okay, but can't we use class name as continue here?
No,
Why is it so?
I'll explain that later.
Okay, because usually when the ID have number, normally it keeps changing. So that's the normal thing we used to see.
No, this
That's why I
application
sense.
doesn't have this thing.
Okay. And one more thing is when I do a search on this, you see this class row is selected, which is like a child to the button ID. So normally we will go with the relative path, right? So here, uh,
This button
normal
is
application we
actually
want.
associated with this CSS. The button ID is TDB5. This is not a child element. The button has
Yeah.
an ID property TDB5 and we are clicking on that.
Okay. No, what I'm saying is, if we do a inspect, right? Normally when you go here, if you when I selected that, this class row is actually selected.
That's okay
So
because this button inside it contains a span element, which is basically, as I said, because of the CSS. The original entity is button. We are clicking on a
okay,
button, not on the span element.
okay.
Now you have cleared the last name. Provide some last name also. So you will say by dot name last name dot send keys and you provide some
Yeah.
name. S capital K capital. There's an extra bracket.
One sec, Palvi.
No problem.
I'll be back in just a second.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, now you have to complete the log off.
Yep. You want me to run or?
Now run it.
Yep. Pallavi?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, done.
Done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you tell me what were the struggles you faced.
Yeah. Basically, I define the elements, certain ones, uh, even though it was highlighting on some other tags.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when I tried to say, for example, the continue was the one which I found it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I go with class name that,
Mm-hmm.
but it was not identifying.
Mm-hmm.
I normally don't go for ID when you have a integer in it because normally it becomes dynamic value.
Mm.
Normally I don't try that. So usually I go for XPath in that case.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's only. And
Okay.
basically I was not knowing the change profile
Scenario.
functionality.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, it is important that you install on Firefox the Selenium IDE. So find
Mm-hmm.
a way to stop the update from happening. You go that in setting in advanced as I have shown you. You can stop that update from happening. Sometimes what happens is Selenium is not able to identify an object by the locator we think it will identify because of some this
Mm-hmm.
or that issues. Because Selenium has its own algorithm or way to create locators. So this
Mm-hmm.
locator by.id_db5 actually Selenium prefers. That's why I know.
Okay.
And since I know this application, I know these IDs are not dynamic. But you are right when uh, you know, mentioned that point. I'm not saying you're wrong. But considering with respect to this application, this is the way we will go about it. Now our time is a little over today. What I would
Yep.
suggest you to do is get yourself familiar with this application. This was your day first. Go ahead and look at the different flows, the login, logout, view or change my account information, change password, buy product, register user. Make yourself familiar with this application because we cannot spend a lot of time in trying to figure out the flows what to automate as we will be doing some exercises. Okay. And the reason I'm asking you to do exercises because only then you will be able to feel confident of knowing C sharp with Selenium. Okay.
Yep.
Now I have already taught you how do you create a file, read a file in C sharp. I have done that, right?
Uh, Read a file.
We have done that.
Is it using? We didn't use. Okay, it is not Excel. Okay, normal file. Okay.
Yeah, text file. We have done reading a text file.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is the assignment problem. Listen carefully. We will be meeting now on Monday. So you have 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So please utilize these 3 days effectively. The assignment is, first of all, make yourself familiar with this application, okay? Write down manual test cases for login, logout, register user, buy product, change or view my account information. At least for these four, you should have the manual test cases written. Your question 2 is parameterize the login, logout scenario. Read a CSV file which has two entries: valid login, valid password, invalid login, invalid password. As you read the file line by line, you understand how you can split the string. You can split the string based on a comma. So this would be your username, this would be your password name. This would
Mm-hmm.
be your username, this would be your password name. How many times this program will iterate? 2 times. Why? Because there are two rows. And you have to use a while loop. You know how to use a while loop, you know how to read a file, you know how to use the split, you know how to use an array. All
Mm-hmm.
this we have discussed. And you know how to write the login logout script. So I want to see on Monday this program on your system. You have to do this, you can do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
implement this. We will start our discussion from this topic. And glancing
Yeah.
is good, but make yourself very much familiar with the WebDriver method, WebElement method, and the by class. Okay.
Yeah.
And your third program is write a program to showcase usage of different WebDriver methods and WebElement methods. So what all methods, attributes you can use, do that. You can get the title of the page, you can print the page source, you can click on an element, you can send keys, you can find whether an element is displayed or not, you can get the text of an element, you can use the get attribute method. So write a program which showcases different WebDriver and WebElement method. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So these two programs I would like to have a look at on Monday, and then we will move forward with our next topic. Okay.
Okay.
Any
Yeah.
question?
No, that's fine.
Fine. Okay then. Thank you. I'll see you on Monday then, Sajid. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Thanks.